Well, I'll just have a look at Top Cliff on my way home from Knotford Lagoon. There's Top Cliff Wheel, look, it's resplendent in the sunshine. It's a bit more water than I thought, although I suppose we've had a fair amount of rain. We're only just over 3 weeks away from the opening of the coarse fishing season. Across at the island. Everything is fresh and green. All the pegs are dry. There's no litter anywhere. Hope it remains that way. Looking down at peg 4. Large willow trees. You just see this church through there. This breezy sunny afternoon. Well, I've seen the kingfisher 3 times in the past 10 minutes. They've always got a nest somewhere. And they whiz past so quickly. Very difficult to get on video. I mean, considering it's such a small patch of woodland, it's amazing how many different birds there are in here. And there's the old fish rising. I suppose on a windy day there, lots of insects, caterpillars being blown onto the water. And it's also green and fresh with all this new foliage. Not like the middle of January. It can be really bleak. Yeah. One of my favourite views in fishing. It ceases to amaze me how all this appears out of nothing. This huge patch of nettles. This lovely flower. Beloved of bees. Enjoying the sunshine. Well, it won't be very long now. Well, I'm at top, so there's a pair of spawning barbel. masses of chub. A veritable armada of them. Some are really big. Most of them really big. As I move across the shoal, henfish digging away at the gravel, making some kind of red, lay its eggs in. Oh, beautiful. Reflection in the sun. A little barbel. I think it must only be about 3 pounds. There's a barbel in amongst the chub. Oh, she's scraping something off the stones. Nibbling away. Nibbling away that chub. Lovely blue fins on that chub, especially the tail. Well, you could stand here and watch them all day. I mean, some of these chum are enormous. I have to go. See you again. Take care. Tight lines. Oh, that's where we are now. The old glebe field. There's a large orchid here, just past its best. With these big spotty leaves. Just look it up. Well, here's another specimen. A different orchid. Look, the spotty leaves. Now, some of these are green-winged orchids, and some of them might be early flowering orchids. But with it being the end of May, I suspect these are green-winged orchids. I'm pretty sure this is a green-winged orchid, having these sort of greenish wings on the side of the flowers. You can see them there. Sort of greenish tinge with slight veins in them, you can see there. So I think that is a green-winged orchid. There's Pen Hill in the background. And there's lots of yellow rattle. This yellow flower is a parasite on grass. So it tends to keep grasses under control, as it were. And of course it's called rattle, because when the seeds form in these sort of bladders here, it's dry, when they get dry, you shake it, it rattles. Yeah, another flower coming to its end. It has to be a woodland flower, you get a lot in this meadow. A flower called bugle. It's a lovely blue, bright blue. These are the salad burnet flowers. There's tens of thousands of them in here. They're like everything else, they prefer an alkaline or limey soil, which you find in the dales. I'm always intrigued by this field. This brown haze which you can see on it. These are salad burnet flowers. A wind pollinated flower. Tens of thousands of them, if not millions. But I'm always intrigued by this little green patch here. What's different about that? That salad burnet doesn't grow anything like the profusion it grows everywhere else. But it sticks out, sort of bright green amongst the brown, and I've often wondered why. Is it sort of more acid, and why should it be more acid in this, just in this little bit of this field? Is it wet? Well, it isn't, I've checked it. It doesn't seem particularly wet either. And I have no idea. This is an example of an old hedge. Gradually they become unkempt and they're not very stock proof. So they have to be rejuvenated. So up there you can see the large overgrown hedge, so to speak, and down here The hedge has been layered, which provides a struck-proof barrier. It's a skill you don't often see these days. Normally they just put up posts and netting. This is far more sort of environmentally unobtrusive. When I was here yesterday, this cow was standing up with its big white belt. Most unusual, unless there's a breed called a belted Galloway, but this isn't it. It's interested again. Stare at you for hours, as in the words of the poem. I can't remember what this yellow flower is. I think it's called something like rock rose. And there's just this one little patch in the field, and yet nobody seems to take any interest. You can always tell the interesting flowers because the grass round them is paddled down. But here, this absolutely stunning yellow is that. There's just this little patch of it here. And that's it. Another lovely patch of milkwort and dark blue. And this is the field next to the glebe field. And you can see because of it's been treated over the years, probably with fertiliser and a bit of weed killer on it. It has nothing like the variety of species that the field just over this hedge has, which is why it is preserved. There's a lovely bit of dry stone walling with moss on it. I think these big stones are called through stones. They go right away across the wall. It's got these capping stones. It's a lovely day up here in Upper Wensleydale. Like yesterday, it was blowing a gale. There was a bit more cloud today. Over there is Pen Hill. No doubt they will have a beacon on top of there for the Queen's Jubilee. They're like on Thursday, 10:15, Thursday evening. There's about 2,000 of them, I understand, all over the place. Just another view of the River. That's further upstream. And gravel bank there. You see how low the river has been over the early part of the year, all that vegetation. A big flood will soon make a mess of that. And the one thing I notice here, there are lots of sand martins and no black-headed gulls. And I just disturbed an English grey partridge. Again, something you don't often see these days. These sort of fancy French partridges about everywhere. It's a lovely sound. Water running over stones in a river. This meadow is covered with the white flowers of the earth nut or pig nut. And at the bottom of each flower, under the ground, about 3 or 4 inches down, is a comb, a small comb at the side of a little conker. And as kids we used to spend ages with sharpened sticks digging them up. You sort of scrape them skin off with your fingers. They have a sort of nutty, peppery taste. I don't suppose kids do anything like that now. Too busy on their iPhones. And when I was here yesterday, it was a really windy day. Blowing from my left across the river, and there must have been a couple of dozen black-headed gulls here catching the insects. I suspect most of them are danny longlegs, a lot of them about, but there was a big hatch of mayflies yesterday, and today I've only seen one so far. Yes, a bit, not much water in the river as yesterday, and so far I've only seen one mayfly, whereas yesterday I must have seen 100. And here, just in this slack where that little whirlpool is going around there were about 4 big fish having a field day, eating these drowned mayflies. They just came round that corner into this big slack, and the sort of scum is on the water. You can see, looking down there, the water's going, looks like it's going back upstream. Yeah, there's still a couple of fish down here in this slack where the scum is collecting. I had hoped to see any barbel spawning here, but the water is very, very peaty coloured. You can't see anything at all. Just a reflection of the clouds. Polarising filter on, you can't see through the reflection. Thought might see a silver flash of barbel just turning, but no, nothing at all. There you can see the colour of the water, which is dropping out. Yesterday it was much darker than that. There's a big hatch of these, hundreds of them, stonefly with twin tails they've got. But so far, just the one mayfly. So that's a tasty morsel for a trout or a grayling, that. Well, grayling's out of season at the moment. I don't know whether you can see them. There are hundreds of them all of a sudden. A nice view down the stretch up middle of them. There's a big fish halfway down. I've just seen a couple of mayfly, a couple of green drakes. There's one there, coming this way, maybe. Yeah, lovely. Well, yesterday when there was this lots of mayfly coming off, I must have seen 10 really good fish, and lots of small ones. Today I've seen only 3 mayfly, and I've only seen 2 good fish, and not very many small ones either. They've probably taken nymphs under the water. Very few flies on the surface. Yeah, a nice reflection of the bridge in the water. Well, from Middleham on this slightly overcast It's a cooler day today. The wind is coming from the east today. Yesterday it was coming from the northwest. It's a lot calmer today than it was yesterday. Anyway, take care. I'll see you again. Bye bye.